The journey that we've underwent is pretty amazing. I guess we can date this story right back to the 1880s, when this neighborhood was the gateway to the west end of the city. There was a train station just behind us here. It still is there. It's a juncture, hence the area became known as the Junction because of the train stations. And so many people came into the west end of Toronto through this train station. So it was a very busy neighborhood. And it became so popular that there was a customs house that was put in just south of Keele and Dundas, and a number of saloons and taverns were built.
There is an active involvement from both the residents, the business owners, and the landowners to make the area a stronger, safer, and a cleaner community. The only way to do that would be to convert the old industrial lands that were not being used into residences, which would become a great investment for future landowners later down the line.
It came, it was the 1880s when the railroad came here. And the CN and the CPR were both here. And that's why it's called the Junction. And this attracted industry. And industry provided jobs. Jobs attracted people. But this is a relatively new town. When you think of other places like Yorkville and Leaside and Weston, parts of Toronto that are much older. So this is a relatively new part of what became Toronto.
This community was known as West Toronto, and it wasn't part of the city of Toronto yet until 1908. So this was still 1903 when the decision was made to make the area dry. It was officially voted in 1904, as soon as council resumed. And the last liquor license expired in April of 1904, and the area remained dry until, it became partly wet in 1997, and the last remaining dry area, which is right here where we are now, we didn't make that wet until November 2000. So you can imagine 1903 to 2000, that's 97 years that an area had to try to survive in the middle of Toronto without the establishments being able to offer alcohol to their patrons.
But now the Junction is on the uprise. With a new restaurant, cafe, and new watering holes, it is making the scenery down Dundas that much more pleasant. There seems to be more and more people coming in to check out the new shops and eateries, which will spread the word about this ever-growing community. The area even has its annual Junction Arts Festival, which allows people to walk through the Junction and admire the artwork of some of the young artists who still live in the area. The diversity of the area caters to many individuals, from people who like to eat vegan treats, aspiring filmmakers, fancy restaurants, fun-loving cat and dog owners, the creative and artistic minds, people with the eye for a work of art, family-owned and operated eateries. And now the community has their first ever franchise move-in.
Starbucks is our first franchise in the Junction, right? The Junction has been franchise-free. Some people see this as a sign, because Starbucks, being a big franchise, does a lot of research before they open a store. And if they think it's worth putting in a franchise here, it's a sign that things are really moving. I think, the Junction is always going to be unique. It's going to have a little edge. It's always had a little edge. It's always been working class.
You can't be mad at me for breaking your heart, 'cause you did the same thing. I just had my revenge. You can't complain about the fact that I moved on, 'cause you